As Sri Lanka continues to grapple with its worst economic crisis since independence, ordinary citizens continue to bear the brunt of the burden for the mistakes and poor decisions made by policymakers. What got us here? Poor management of public funds has played a key role. However, this doesn't capture the entirety of the issue. Government mismanagement is enabled by low transparency and the constant evasion of accountability to the public. Over the past few months, we have seen a surge in public demand in protests all around the country demanding accountability from the government. Citizens have highlighted their mistrust in government and the secrecy within which a lot of government decision-making is shrouded. In the next few minutes, we will unpack the Sri Lankan government's performance in its annual budget over the past year. The budget being an important tool through which the government manages and allocates public funds. The 2023 budget is just around the corner, so reflecting on the past year will help us be more informed and aware moving forward. So how did we do? Did the government do what they were saying? And did they say what they were doing? Let's start with the 2021 Open Budget Survey, or OBS. The OBS is an international research tool that assesses the openness of a country's budget through three key facets. The first being budget transparency, the second being opportunities for public participation, and the third being budget oversight. According to OBS, Sri Lanka received a transparency score of 30 out of 100. This measures the online availability, timeliness, and comprehensiveness of three key budget documents. Quite intuitively, you can tell that this is not a great score, and it's not a great score globally either. Globally, Sri Lanka ranked 93rd out of 120 countries for budget transparency. It's important we pay attention to this because Sri Lanka's transparency score and rank has been gradually declining over the past few years. This is a serious issue because what it means is that the government is increasingly opaque on what it's doing and continues to do with public money. So what does this mean for you and I, the tax-paying citizen? To find out, the Verite research team tracked promises made in the 2021 budget introduced by then Finance Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. This includes money allocated to development projects, education, health, and defense, amongst other things. We tracked 31 expenditure proposals, or in other words, promises made to the public, which had a total value of 284 billion rupees. We found out that for almost a quarter promises tracked, that there was zero transparency. This means that there was no information available to assess any progress. For many other promises, they had to be categorized as either uncooperative or restrictive. This means that there was very limited information available to assess progress. Another key thing to highlight is that 81.5 billion rupees in the Sri Lankan budget is unaccounted for. This represents 48% of the budget. This means we had no way of assessing progress because the relevant authorities denied giving us information, did not respond, or simply provided insufficient information. This closed culture in government institutions regarding what it's doing with taxpayer money becomes even more worrying when you consider the fact that many of the unaccounted funds belong to ministries with important allocations, such as the Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Highways, and the Ministry of Technology. It is clear that the government and government institutions are doing a poor job of being accountable to the public. We as citizens have a right to know how our money is being spent and a right to the seat at the table to decide what our money is being spent on. It is imperative that we demand a government that is both transparent and accountable. This is critical to ensure better public finance management, as well as to ensure that we forge a pathway out of this present and any future crises.